Welcome inside Somerset Berkley Regional. The Durfee Lady Hilltoppers making the trip across the Taunton River to square off against the Blue Raiders tonight here in Somerset. Hello again, everybody. I'm Evan Massey, joined by Daniel Keating as Fred TV and Blue Raiders Studios team up once again to bring you collaborative coverage of high school hoops. Great to be back with you here in Somerset. Now, the Lady Hilltoppers, Daniel, have had a tough go of it this year. Second year for head coach Marcel Smith, and the Durfee girls 0-12 this season. You look back at the first game that these two teams played in December, it was only a 10-point loss. You know, that's not a blowout. I consider that a game that is a winnable game. So now, if we look at Somerset on the other side, you know, they started the season really well, really strong. They won 5 out of 6 games, but since then they've lost 4 out of 6. So kind of a tale of two seasons. And one of the things we're looking at, you know, stat-wise, if you keep Somerset under 50 points, they're very beatable. What would you say for Durfee is kind of going to be the key here to get that first win? Because, you know, they got to be feeling the pressure right now.
I guess for Durfee, the main thing they want to focus on is matching Somerset's, you know, offensive intensity. They want to definitely match their intensity and keep them under 50 points. And if they can keep them under 50 points, like you said, it's a very winnable game. But Durfee just has to come out and match their energy at the beginning of the game, and then, you know, got to follow through all 4 quarters.
One of Durfee's struggles this year has been on the offense. They've had a hard time scoring points. Somerset hasn't had that trouble, again, in their wins. They're averaging over 50 points. That's not bad for a girls' basketball program. So we'll see how it all pans out tonight. You know, it should be a good game. I think if there's a game on Durfee's schedule that could say is winnable based on the track record, based on where Somerset's at now versus the beginning of the year, I think that this is a game Durfee could win, and I expect it to be close. JV is wrapping up right now. Somerset Berkley's ahead by 5 with about 4 minutes to go. We'll let you know the final score of JV, and we'll have varsity for you right after this. Stick around. Welcome back, folks, to the broadcast here on Fred TV and the Blue Raiders Studios here in Somerset, as we have girls basketball for you. Lady Blue Raiders on the court, Lady Hilltoppers joining them. The Blue Raiders in their usual home whites with blue lettering. Durfee sporting black uniforms for the road with red lettering, very similar to Brockton's away uniforms. Very similar. Evan Massoud and Daniel Keating with you here for the broadcast. The opening tip goes to Somerset Berkley. And it's Allie Powers with the ball to start things off. An exciting finish to JV. Somerset Berkley held on to the win.
It was very close. It was very close, we may add. It was came right down to the wire.
It sure did. There was a jump ball with 10 seconds to go. Possession arrow sent it to Somerset. And just a great pass right at the top of the key to the center, breaking in the paint, banked it in off the glass, quick jumper, and Somerset ended up coming away with the win in those final 10 seconds. So it was a great finish for JV, and I really do expect that this game is going to be pretty close too. I talked with both coaches right before the game. Daniel, you and I were down on the court, and you know, Coach Marcel Smith for Durfee, he said, here, cross out 5 names. So many injuries for the Lady Hilltoppers this season that they're literally down to almost like half a team.
I think we counted 8 earlier. Me and Cameron counted 8 people.
Yeah,
8 girls in uniform tonight. I don't know if that still holds true. That was pregame, but I'm sure they're really short on people tonight. Yeah,
I mean, it's a tough way to be. Injuries will kill you. We've seen it in so many, you know, any sport. Injuries will hurt you and hurt your success. Whether, you know, next man up only goes so far, or in this case, next girl up. It only goes so far. So for Durfee, that's part of where the struggle's been, and those names, you know, crossed out. Girls we've seen, not just this year, even last year, some of them. You know, so like Juliana Rivera, Samantha Soares, Celine Mayette, all girls basically with season-ending injuries. It's a tough way to be. So the 2 other names there, Jada Holly not playing, Landry Karen also out with an injury, a freshman who got some varsity playing time to start the year, and she's out. So, you know, 5 girls out for Durfee. That's really has made it very challenging for the Lady Hilltoppers. We have our first foul. It is on the Blue Raiders, Lily Buren. It was on the floor. And we're still scoreless here through almost 2 minutes as the Somerset girls looking to get the scoring started. Good passing, and it's going to skip away. The sister-sister connection there, the Gajewski sisters there, Caroline to Abigail, couldn't hold on to it.
But the Raiders do retain possession, so it'll be interesting to see what Durfee draws up here to try to defend the post.
3 ball is good, and now the scoring open. 2 minutes into the game, but we have our first basket, and it's Allie Powers who got the opening tip. She drains it from downtown. Now on the other side, you know, for Somerset here, talked to Coach LePage as Powers goes to the basket, gets the foul, and she'll go to the line after the basket. Coach LePage saying, you know, really Somerset's biggest thing is inconsistency. And he said that to me actually a couple years ago, in fact, as well, as Durfee picks up their first foul. It's number 24.
It was interesting. Somerset actually double-teamed right off the bat Mackenzie Carrero coming right up the court. So that's an interesting game plan. I wonder if we're going to see it the whole game or just, I don't know, it looked like they were kind of almost full court pressing real quick. Not necessarily full court, but they jumped right on the ball. So interesting to see what Somerset rolls out with going forward.
Absolutely, and you know, and that's the thing. One of the inconsistencies we're talking about. So Coach LePage was saying that,
and one,
yeah, and one, as Lewis puts it in, is that, you know, they'll come out and they'll put up maybe 19. He used as an example, he said put up 19 in the first half, and come out and put up 40 in the second half. That's not consistent basketball. You know, you want to try to spread that out more. And that's something that they've really been working hard on. You know, they started the season winning 5 out of 6 games, including beating Durfee at the Luke Urban Fieldhouse, 54.
Close game. Within it was within reach. You know what I mean?
54-44 the score back on December 17th, right before Christmas. Another 3 ball from Allie Powers. She's got all 8 points for the Blue Raiders to this point. Excuse me, all 9 points for Somerset. You know, but looking at that schedule, you know, since then, since January 7th, a loss with Old Rochester, the Blue Raiders have won just 2 of their last 7 games. Another basket for Powers, who already has double digits, 11 points, all to her, and in just the last minute and a half. So, again, that's kind of like a tale of 2 seasons. That's where the inconsistencies are lying here for Somerset. So, you know, they're definitely in the playoff hunt. That's certain. I mean, 7 wins is a good place to be with 7 to go, basically, 7 games to go. You only need 3 wins. But the inconsistencies could come back to bite Somerset. So, you know, that's why I'm saying, you know, I think, you know, for Durfee at least, you know, coming in 0-12, that's a tough place to be.
Yeah,
that's where nobody wants to be. You know, the girls nor the coaches. But I look at it and I say Somerset's been struggling more of late. I think Durfee's got a chance, but they're down 11-2. So early going here, Somerset definitely the domineering team.
And Durfee has to work on, obviously, pacing with Somerset
Yeah.
in the first quarters of this game,
Yeah.
essentially. And if Durfee lets it get too far out of hand, it might, you know, we might start to see the bleeding on the scoreboard there. So
Yeah, well, you don't want it to snowball out of control.
Exactly.
You know, one of the things is the turnover right there.
Yep.
Tough pass. Oh, and out of reach, another bad pass. So both sides with a bad pass on that exchange. But, you know, I look at the game here and I say, well, 11-2, not what I expected early, but this has been Durfee's crutch all year, is scoring points. And obviously when you have that many girls out, that hurts your team. But offensively, it has been a struggle. And even last year, it was a struggle.
Exactly, and it's hard to be consistent with
That's
a team.
a tough foul.
That's not all together. You're almost missing almost half the team, essentially.
Right.
So it's really hard to be consistent when you don't have everybody suiting up.
The foul is on Alexis Kupis.
Durfee inbounds.
It's a 3rd foul for Somerset. Going to pass out to Catherine Callahan. Going underneath. No good. Lewis got a hand on the rebound. Can she keep it in? No.
Right on the line.
Right on the line. You mentioned the defense, and you know, even for Durfee as well, you know, when they were down this end, it seems like they're not necessarily right on a man coverage, because there were times.
There was times there was holes in the
Yeah, you saw
defense,
some double
yeah.
teaming. And that's always, whenever you double team anybody, you're going to leave somebody open.
Exactly.
So that's kind of the challenge with pressing it. Somerset here, they're basically just going right for the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got two girls open. They're really pretty much staying inside, 2-3. They're inside the perimeter. But, there's open players for Durfee. It's a matter of hitting the shots. Good feet underneath. And the basket is good for Mackenzie Carrero.
Like you said, it's a matter of hitting the shots as well as Durfee has to kind of adjust to the way Somerset's playing defense. Every team plays defense differently, so depending on how the last team they played defense, it could affect how they're going to come out in this game. They just have to make adjustments mid-game, call timeouts, make adjustments, talk to the team.
And that's exactly the right point, Daniel, is that, and we saw the inability to make adjustments, in the Durfee-New Bedford boys game. Durfee they hung 27 points against the Whalers in that second quarter. Javon Holly was just going off. And New Bedford made adjustments in that third quarter. Durfee only put up 8 points, and they held Javon scoreless in that third quarter. It ended up being too little too late for Durfee. So, again, that's a good point. Adjustments are key, and being able to make those adjustments as a coach and as a player are important. Exactly. And Coach Smith, he knows basketball. So it's about, when he implements it, and says, hey, we got to do this and that, now it's up to the players. It's a player's game. You got to be able to make those adjustments. Absolutely. Pretty quiet crowd, too. I'll tell you, it was rocking in here at the end of JV.
Yeah.
But it's really kind of, it's early.
The game is still early. But
it's quieted out. I see a Sully sighting. Greg Sullivan down taking some footage with the iPhone in the stands. Turned into a real multimedia reporter for the Herald News. Coming up on the final 100 seconds of the first quarter. A quick first quarter. Not a lot of stoppages, which is always nice. Keeps the game moving. Good for the players and for us.
So you can see there's a nice outlet pass there. That,
right.
I think that came from Lewis.
Mm-hmm. And that's Shaylin Cruz who put that in.
The Durfee has to get back on defense here. They have
Quick basket on the other end for Abigail Gajewski, her first basket, and the first basket for somebody not Allie Powers. So
Durfee had an interesting 2-on-5 going there when Somerset all transitioned back, and Durfee was still trailing in the backcourt. So it's definitely going to be an interesting game. It's definitely not 11. What was it? 11-0 when the game first started.
It was 11-2.
11-2.
Now 13-6.
Yeah,
that one comes up short. Nice rebound, fighting for it. Ball still alive, is going to go out. Should be Durfee ball. And it will be. Callahan will inbound with 43.2 seconds.
See what kind of play Durfee draws up here. They've been kind of doing the same formations since the game started. It's almost been going to either Mackenzie in the corner or it's been getting pushed into the post. So it will be interesting to see.
Well, a turnover isn't going to help. Powers passing wide open underneath and putting it in is Salamone. One of the two captains for the Blue Raiders. It puts them up by 9 with 10 seconds as Salgado. Almost another steal. It is going to be a steal. Yeah. It's going to be.
Well, that 1 second left. Put it up at the buzzer.
It's good.
It goes. So Durfee looked promising for about a couple minutes there, but Durfee will end the first quarter trailing 17-6.
Yeah, they got it close. They got it closer, 13-6. But that quick 4-0 run there to end the first.
That did not help at all.
Now it is an 11-point lead for Somerset. So a good start for the Blue Raiders. Now the question will be is can they, we mentioned the inconsistencies, can they sustain this level? Mm-hmm. If we look at the schedule here, an interesting stat is that Somerset has only won, that's Durfee's schedule, here we go. Somerset has only won one game where they did not put up
50 points, right?
50 points. And it was a 30-29 win against Rogers on December 27th. All of the other wins, the other 6 wins that Somerset has, 61 points, 54, 56, 52, 55, and then 57. So I look at that and I say, if you're Durfee and you can put up some baskets, if you can put up some baskets and stay close and hold Somerset under 40 or under 50, maybe you got a chance.
Well, so far Somerset's on the pace of putting up 68 points with this 17-point first quarter.
Yeah, that's a big start. And you credit Allie Powers. I mean, geez, 11 first quarter points in about 90 seconds.
Nice
That's
steal
ridiculous. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
But second quarter underway here. Passing back. Luckily, Callahan was there. Nobody was home for the moment, but Callahan there to reel it in. 30 seconds gone in the second. Evan Massoud and Daniel Keating with you here on Fred TV and Blue Raiders TV, Somerset Access.
Another turnover.
Another turnover. Durfee going to get it right back. Passing to Lewis underneath. Can't get that shot to go right now. I was walking into Durfee for that New Bedford game about a week and a half ago, and I think the girls had just had practice. Or they might have been leaving for the bus, actually. We were pretty early getting there for that. And Cameron says to me, says, "Hey, you're the one who always calls my name on TV." So I said, "Yeah." I said, "Now, you'll forgive me." I said, because, the construction lights at Durfee were on, lighting the parking lot. I had such a glare. I didn't even know who was talking to me. Yeah. I said, "I can't see you. Who am I talking?" She said, "It's Cameron Lewis." I said, "Oh, Cameron." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, when you're making the shots, I'm going to call your name." I said, "A couple games that we've seen you do, you've had some good games." So
I spoke to you pregame as well. So you mentioned that you were Evan Massoud.
Right. That's right. Salamoni's at the line. Just hit the first one. Going for a second free throw. And if she makes this, it'll be a 6-0 run for the Blue Raiders. The foul was on Sterling for the Hilltoppers. And that second free throw is good. And I'd be remiss, we kind of jumped right into the hot topics here, but we'll run down who were the 5 starters for you a little late. But for Durfee, Mackenzie Carrero, Shaylin Cruz Salgado, O'Shea Sterling, Catherine Callahan, and Cameron Lewis. And for Somerset, Allie Powers, Abigail Gajewski, Caroline Gajewski, Jessica Salamoni, and Lily Buren. Durfee coached by Marcel Smith, his second year coaching this team, and Jeff LePage leading the charge once again for the Blue Raiders.
They called a charge on that play.
They did. I don't know.
It was tough. I don't. Also, it was even more frustrating that Durfee had had 2 open girls running down the court alongside the ball handler there.
I know. I was just gonna say they had an open look. That's the 4th foul for the Hilltoppers.
Oh, rebound
to Durfee. All right. Well, let's see. 2 minutes gone here in the second quarter, and we don't always talk a lot of pro ball or really professional sports in general. But you're a huge basketball fan, and anybody. You could live under a rock, and the tragedy that happened yesterday in the sports world, Kobe Bryant. And I know, again, you follow basketball way more, the NBA way more than I did. I mean, this guy is GOAT status.
Yeah,
for the sport,
and
he's
beyond basketball as well.
Such a sad story what happened. Everybody. ESPN interrupted the Pro Bowl to cut to live coverage. The Pro Bowl took a back seat. That's how big this was. A big deal. And this is really a very tragic, event that happened.
And getting to what you said about how big it was, I was actually at a track meet in Boston yesterday, and I just had finished running the 4x2, and everybody knew about it. And I didn't know about it because I was running the race at the time.
Oh, geez.
And it wasn't actually. I heard it from the New Bedford coach, which was interesting, because he said he came up to all of us that were in a group and said it. And next thing you know, everybody started saying it, So it kind of spread like wildfire at the time of when the news broke out. And it still feels unreal to just think about, such a person that was so dedicated to the sport of basketball, as well as dedicated to his family and dedicated to furthering all kinds of organizations in his community. And just to see, something so tragic happen like that, it's really eye-opening to see anything can happen at any time.
Oh, yeah. No, got to relish every moment.
Exactly.
So, tonight, high school hoops, and, we remember one of the great, Kobe Bryant. Timeout on the court because that was going to be close to either a travel or she was sliding on her back. It was going to be very close to travel. The Hilltoppers might have even been close to backcourt. She's right on the line. So Coach Smith called timeout to make sure possession stays with Durfee. 19-8. Somerset with the lead. Just one basket for either side here to start the second quarter.
You mentioned how many fouls did Durfee have? They have 5 or 4? 5, okay. So
yeah.
That's already
2 on Salgado, but singles the rest of the way, and just 3 for Somerset.
It's already a lot of fouls working in this early in the quarter. So
yeah,
as a coach, you gotta, as soon as you get to your third foul on one player, you gotta think about, taking them out and saving them for the rest of the game, as well as all these other ladies have one. You mentioned a lot of people have 1 foul, so you're not totally in the red, but you definitely want to be careful. You don't want to have 3 fouls going into halftime, because then you kind of watch your minutes, because 5 and you're out. I believe it's 5 in girls basketball as well, right?
Oh, no, it's 7. It's personal fouls, 5 personals for everybody. And you're out.
5 personals.
But
yeah, okay.
for the team.
For the team, it's 7, right? Until you're in the bonus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it resets at the half. That was Lewis, by the way, for Durfee underneath, getting that second chance layup off the glass. And now a turnover going for the Hilltoppers as well. Actually, to be honest, 5 fouls not crazy bad. I mean, in comparison, New Bedford boys had 7 after 1 quarter. So Durfee was in bonus going to the line the entire second quarter of that game.
That's definitely not what you want to do as a basketball team.
Lewis with another bank shot. She's got 6 points for Durfee. It's back to a 7-point game, 19-12. So the Hilltoppers on a mini run here, and that'll cause Coach LePage to call timeout with 4:20 to play in the half.
And Durfee's doing something right, because Somerset had to call a timeout to kind of, regather what's going on out there. And it was an 11-point game at one point, and now it's down to 7. So Durfee's making a slow comeback, but if they stay on this pace, it will definitely happen.
Yeah, you got to keep. Just got to keep chipping away.
Stay consistent, like you said in the first.
Now looking at the remaining schedule, both teams actually with a pretty even schedule. Somerset. They were away at Old Rochester over the weekend. That was a loss. That was their 6th loss. So they're facing Durfee here tonight, hoping to not fall to 500, hoping to pick up win number 8. Then they got Fairhaven, DR, New Bedford, Volk, Apponequet, Bourne, and Seekonk. To give you an idea, they lost to Apponequet by 2. They lost to DR by 18. They beat New Bedford Volk by, about 25, 27 points. 28 points, in fact. So they have some opponents. Seekonk is kind of a one and done. Same with Fairhaven, just a one-time viewing. We're seeing that more often, too, as teams have trouble filling schedules that, you see a team just once, don't end up playing a home and home. It just ends up being a one-shot deal. For Durfee, the girls played Somerville to open the season, and that was their only look at Somerville. They're not going up there. So, again, one of those kind of one-and-done type shots. 3 ball, that might be good. No, just a little off the mark. Lewis gets the rebound, and she'll put it back. Having a good second quarter. Lewis coming alive. 8 points for her. 5-point game.
And great job going for the offensive rebound there and to get second chance points. And an and one.
No.
Oh,
travel.
Yeah. Travel. They called it travel.
I heard Coach Smith call it, and I was just about to say it, and he actually took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah.
So the officials.
I'm sorry, I was just watching the basket there.
Yeah, no worries. So the travel called, no basket. Durfee with the ball. Callahan. Well, high pass to no shot. You're going to call a foul on the floor. It'll be Somerset's 4th. Got to say, we were talking about this pregame, and I noticed it right away that Somerset's not a old school by any means, but they upgraded the lighting in here.
Yeah, like you
Thank God.
were saying, it was very
my
dim
God.
before.
It really was. It was like these are LEDs. It's more of a white light, like probably 4 or 5K, you know, really like daytime looking light. 3 ball, gonna be long. The rebound going to Sterling. Loose ball picked up by 24. I do apologize, folks. 24 is not on our roster. We'll try to straighten that out at halftime for you. 24 for Durfee, that is. Somerset's gonna get the ball. But no, the lighting was it was like a yellowish, very warm light, almost like an incandescent bulb like you put in your lamp at home. And now with these, it's much brighter in here and it looks more natural. It was just super dark. So it looks great in here now. This is like fantastic. Another turnover.
And actually,
oh, that's a bad pass. Durfee gonna get lucky that they just got that ball, but now a travel. That was not a good pass from Salgado. You had 3 Blue Raiders, and actually you hear Coach Smith saying right there, keep the ball. You didn't need to do the cross-court pass. The clock's not expiring. You got 3 Blue Raiders that are all taller than you, right in front of you where you're passing. It's not gonna turn out well.
Yeah. And you said 24 wasn't on our sheet, right, for the...
Not for Durfee,
24 is actually Mackenzie Carrero. So they have her listed as number 2 here, but she's 24.
Okay, so they switched her out. Okay, good call. Thank you, Daniel. Let's say I thought she was out on the court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we mentioned her name earlier.
Right.
And actually, you mentioned her name.
I
when
did,
she
and
made
I
that,
thought
made
I
that
saw
basket.
the. And I thought I saw her too. Maybe maybe I missed the 4. I'm not so sure. But there's always a roster confusion here. It seems once in a while. Every game we run into a little something, but that's all right.
Yeah, it's bound to happen. It's
Durfee now picking up their 7th foul. 3rd for Sterling. And the basket was good for Abigail Gajewski. And now she'll try to add it and make a 3rd point out of it. She does. So the 3-point swing puts it back up to an 8-point lead for the Blue Raiders. Up over the 20 points, but they have been pretty quiet offensively here. That was their first from the field in almost the 6 minutes that we've played here in the second. Now Salamone puts one up, but the other 3 points out of the 5 were from the free throw line. So Durfee has been limiting some of the shots for Somerset here in the second, but now back down by 10 after this 5-0 run.
It almost seems like Durfee goes on, like you were saying, Durfee goes on a run, and Somerset just retaliates back with whatever they have, and then Durfee goes on another run. And, that run's always, Somerset's run's always started by a couple of unforced Durfee turnovers. As you can, a couple plays ago when they had that turnover to the fast break and the other turnover to the other Somerset score. So a lot of the scores are coming off of turnovers for Somerset.
Oh, yeah. Ball possession's important, and of course, it's basketball. It's a game of runs. It's more about how you can defend them and try to turn the tide your way. Lewis made the first shot. Second one good as well. So she's 2 for 3 at the line, and she's got 10 points for the Hilltoppers. She got more than half the team's points. And now a steal. She deflected it. Yep. Deflected it right to Cruz. Cruz looking outside to Carrero, as you said, number 24. And that's a high bouncer off the back of the rim. Who's got it? Cruz was close to getting it. She couldn't get enough on that deflected pass. Lewis on the rebound after the Salamone miss, and now they'll slow it down with $1:15 to play here in the half. Fast first half. Really?
Very fast, yeah.
That's going to go back court, but it was touched by Somerset, so Durfee will keep it. 12 seconds on the shot clock as we come up to a minute here. Jumper no good from Lewis. Now we're under a minute to play. Nice pass, but 2 chances for Somerset. Can't get it to go. Cupis gets it out to Salamone, no good. Another chance for the Blue Raiders. Oh, and did the foot come up, or are they going to call a foul?
They called a foul on that one. But Durfee got lucky that they didn't score earlier. It was
a lot of chances.
3 chances they counted, 3 or 4? It was.
8 fouls for the Hilltoppers. This is the first for number 30.
I think as a team, Durfee has to crash the boards a lot better. As you can see, Somerset just has so many second chance points that they have been getting the whole entire game. And it's almost not necessarily the whole entire game, but it's been. I've seen that a lot. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? In the paint, especially when Somerset will miss a shot and it will come off the right of the rim, and Somerset's right back there to get it.
Well, they boxed out properly, number one.
Yep.
Number two, they're taller, they're taller than Durfee.
Yeah.
So that helps the cause as well. That one no good. Shot clock is off. Loose ball is picked up by Cruz. 20 seconds. Oh, almost deflected. Wow. Powers very close to taking that one all the way back. 3 ball, no good. Misses the basket. And with 10 seconds, Somerset will look to take the last shot. They lead by 9. Oh,
looks like it
very
was out of
close
bounds
to the
there,
boundary. Very close. Jumper. Good for Caroline Gajewski. And the Blue Raiders up by 11 here after one half. 27-16. Not a bad second quarter really for Durfee or for either side. Less point total, less points put up by the Blue Raiders, just the 10 versus the 17 in that first first quarter. But for Durfee, thank God for Cameron Lewis, 8 points for her out of the 10 that they netted in that second. So she kept them in the game. I mean, they're still down by 11, but it could be much worse, if you're looking at it for Durfee. They did a good job in the first 4 to 5 minutes of that second quarter. Somerset did not have many shots, just 3 from the field in this quarter. 4, actually, if you count that last shot. But it was much closer, I think, in the second quarter than the score would really tell you. So we will step aside here for a quick timeout during the halftime break. We'll be back with the third quarter next. Stick around. Welcome back, folks, inside the gym here at Somerset Berkley Regional. Evan Massoud and Daniel Keating with you on Fred TV and here in Somerset. Blue Raider Studios bringing you action on Somerset Cable Access. 27-16 the score. Somerset Berkley with the 11-point lead. Really closed out that first half well, Daniel. It's going to be up to the Lady Hilltoppers to claw back in this one. Somerset will start with possession to begin the third quarter.
As you were saying, Somerset really closed out that first half strongly. Strong. It was a what was the going into it? Durfee had a decent run at one point, and Durfee was down by I think was it 6 after Cameron Lewis scored the inside bucket. I believe it was 6 points.
Durfee cut it to I think it was 19-14.
Yeah, so 5. Okay,
or
so
19-15 or something like that. It was within like 2 possessions.
Yeah, it was in striking distance within, so Durfee got to that spot that they wanted to be, and a lot of turnovers, a lot of good plays by Somerset, and now we're looking at a score where Durfee trailing by 14 starting the second half.
Lewis can't get that one to go. Yeah, as Powers had that ridiculous first quarter, 11 points, the first 11 points of the game for Somerset. As she's weaving her way through traffic. Great kick out to the corner, but no good for Buron. But Powers just started this third quarter after no points in the second, just started it with a 3. So that was her third from three-point land. Pass back to Callahan. Lewis, jumper, good.
And Durfee's spacing really nicely coming out into the second half. I've looking at the way they're playing right now, and they're spaced a lot differently than they did in the first half. So and as we see the nice crossover there, and it's going to lead to they had a 3-on-2 there, but they're spacing nicely, and that's all you really want to see as a coach, them making adjustments. So I'm assuming there was adjustments that were to be made over halftime, definitely. So it's interesting to see that this might be the product of that call by the coach there.
Well, the key here now is you got to make the shots.
Exactly.
That's the thing. And the offense, once again, for Durfee has been struggling. Lewis picking up her first foul, and it's going to send Abigail Gajewski to the line. She is 1 for 1. She had an and 1 in the second. She'll miss that one. So, yeah, I mean, it's good. The adjustments, you're right. It's good to see that. But now you got to make the baskets. Yeah. That's the bottom line.
Only one person can score at a time. It doesn't matter who you have. That's a rule that's in basketball. Only one person can score at a time. So that's really going to be how the game track goes here.
2 straight rebounds for the Blue Raiders, and Gajewski's going to draw another foul after she went 0 for 2 at the line. Her team ended up getting 2 rebounds. Sterling picks up her 4th foul. And now a reprieve possibly for Gajewski. Makes the first one count. Yeah, Somerset's been tremendous with the boxing out tonight and the rebounding, and that's, these multiple chances after a miss. And in here, it ends up turning into points anyway, because look at that. Both free throws end up being made by Gajewski.
Somerset's making the free throws as well, which definitely can hurt a team.
Well, they've had more. That's the other thing. Durfee's only had 3. They were all Lewis. She's 2 for 3 at the line. No one else has been to the line for Durfee. So that changes things too. You got to hit the shots from the field.
You can make your free throws. I mean, you're pretty much golden. I mean, about half the games come down to free throws in the end.
Oh yeah.
Giving a real life example to this, I play in a rec league where the other night we lost by 10 points and we missed 20 free throws. No one could hit free throws. So a lot of the times you have to be making your free throws, and Somerset is doing a great job of really executing every chance they have at the line. And a great pass there too.
It really
Number
is.
41. And that is Lily Buron.
Yeah, but stepping out of bounds was Abigail Gajewski, and it's going to end up being a turnover.
Oh, okay.
So right after that great pass on the second chance, the rebound, Gajewski stepped out of bounds. So Durfee has it back. Pressing a little bit, and will it force a turnover? It will. Going to the basket, uncontested, will be Powers. And a timeout called by the Hilltoppers. Not surprised.
Yeah, that was different. When she was bringing the ball up, no one was, going. Everybody was staying around half court there. So, and there was a lot of opportunities where Somerset wasn't really paying attention. They were mostly focused on the ball. They didn't focus on the ball the whole game. Where Durfee could have, snuck into the paint there, and it seemed like that would have been the,
Yeah.
It's just. Everybody's kind of staying where the ball is, so whether they're playing they're playing some type of offense that, involves that. So
no, you're right. The one thing I will say is that the Blue Raiders are definitely, with the defense, and we've seen this a number of times, they're not afraid to go into a press. I mean, they're up 34-18, but they're still, not really giving the Hilltoppers any open lanes. We really haven't seen anybody drive to the basket tonight for Durfee. It's really been, jumpers inside the paint, couple balls from outside, but for the most part, it's just really jumpers
and they're full
layups.
Pressing here as well.
Yeah,
and that's
look at that.
We're only in the third quarter here, so
and they're double teaming whoever has the ball. So the term Chris Santos and Jamison Guimond both brought out the term. What a block that's going out of play. They both brought up the same term when New Bedford was double teaming Javon Holly in the boys' game. Basically they're doing a man, they're doing a press, but then one person is kind of sagging off the other person, sagging off their man, or in this case their girl underneath, and they're going where the ball is, so there's always a double team. So yeah, it leaves somebody open, but the way that they're spaced, it really doesn't end up leaving an opening. Jumper with the clock expiring does hit the rim, so a second chance will be put up, but that's no good for the Hilltoppers either. Just the 2 points here halfway through the third. Just 2 points they have netted. What a block. Kept in. Wow. The foot was still in, and it hit Powers' foot and kicked back to Lauren Kuchar. Unbelievable. I don't think that they could try to draw. They could not draw something like that up if they tried. That's crazy. Wow. First foul of the second half for the Blue Raiders, and it is going to be on Salamone, her first. It was on the floor, so no shot. Just an inbound and a fresh 30 seconds. Calling for it, number 30 for the Hilltoppers. Batted away. Ball going to roll out of bounds. And Somerset ball.
It looked like it should have...
Not so sure about that.
It looked like it rolled off of Somerset's leg.
Yeah. To me, that's a tough call. When the official's making the call, but the ball is in front of 3 players. How does he really see that? To me, I think it's up to the man up the court to make that call. it happened right in front of us. Easier said than done. Gajewski with the basket. And she's quietly having a nice game. 8 points for her.
And
Excuse me, 9 points for her.
And I believe Durfee is running, let's see here, the way they're running their offense. They have all guards and one center in the game right now that I can see here. So, it's interesting you have a guard playing the small forward, a guard playing the power forward, and then, of course, you have Cameron Lewis in the paint.
Right. In Somerset, the height advantage is really helping them. It truly is. The Gajewski sisters are tall. Salomone's tall. Three ball is good
And the fact
from, is that Callahan? That's Callahan, right? Can't see the numbers. Yeah, that's Callahan. Catherine Callahan with the three ball. Her first basket of the game. Durfee's first from downtown. Travel called.
And with the majority of Durfee's height on the bench right now, and I believe there's only 2 active players on the bench. And the third, okay, so only 2 active. That was, okay. So now 3 active players on the bench.
Right.
But, the majority of their height is on the bench right now. So, going with that 4-guard rotation with the 1 center, it's going to be tough against matched up against a team like Somerset that is primarily, power forwards, small forwards, and then, a full filled-out team.
Hilltoppers pressing. And a timeout called by Coach LePage. 23 seconds on the shot clock. And too, some of the girls from JV are playing varsity. I think they've been called up because I'm recognizing some faces from the end of JV when we were sitting down there. So, and that's why some of the roster here is a little bit shuffled. But, that's what you got to do. When you have this many injured players can't play, you got to fill the bench, you got to fill the team somehow. So, Coach Smith, again, making the most of what he has, that's for sure. 36-21 with the timeout here as the cheerleaders come out to keep the crowd going here during the timeout break. Again, pretty quiet for varsity. Crowd. It's really interesting because it was much more energetic for the JV game. Yeah. I'm kind of surprised. Actually, I think there were more people too.
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
It is getting late. It's 7:40 on a Monday, so. Now that also could play into the factor of it, and the fact that the JV game was so close.
And it went late too.
Yep. So,
that was a travel. They got away with that. Somerset got away with one there. Well, called on the other end. So. Callahan will inbound. Lewis coming forward to get it. I think the pass may have been tipped. She's going to go to the line for 2. It'll be Somerset's second foul. And it will be the first for Caroline Gajewski. 2 shots for Lewis. 12 points in the game.
She's a good 2 inches behind the free throw line
now
when she shoots.
Takes
more than 2 inches.
Takes
now.
a long shot, almost a foot.
Yeah.
Hey, it worked.
4
for 5 on the night. The only Hilltopper to go to the line tonight. And she's made the most of her opportunities, 80%.
It stays Somerset. Yeah.
Yeah, off the foot of Lewis. Caroline Gajewski will inbound. That's it to Salamone.
It's going Durfee's way.
Yeah, Durfee's way.
Hands of 31.
Salamone put up the 3 there, but.
And Somerset still in their full court press.
Yeah, I'm really amazed by this.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe with the big lead, Coach LePage just says, let's really kind of fine-tune some stuff and play aggressive.
And the fact that Durfee is really not, taking advantage of the space that the full court press creates. So if it's not broke, don't fix it, So
yeah, offensively, aside from Cameron Lewis, the Hilltoppers have not been an offensive threat tonight. And, that's not to be negative about the team. It's the truth. I mean, if you take Lewis has 14 points, Durfee has 23. So if you take her points off the board, the Hilltoppers have 9 points in the game. That's a tough night. Lewis takes the jumper off the rim. Callahan can't get the rebound. overmatched with Buran, and she'll get the ball.
And it just intrigues me that Callahan's playing the 4, going down on the offensive end, but she's playing the 2 or the 3 on the defensive end.
Right.
Which, you know, and she'll also bring up the ball time to time. So she's really, you know, a two-way player right now, essentially. I mean,
yeah,
playing,
she kind of has to be.
So
Salamone at the line. This is her second trip to the free throw line, 3 for 3 after that make. And if she hits this one, she'll be up to double digits in terms of points. That one does not go. Rattles around the rim. Second chance for Buran, no good. Lewis got the rebound, and Callahan full steam ahead, trying to outrun Salamone. Runs basically into Powers, gets it out to Lewis now. 80 seconds to play in the third. Callahan directing traffic, but really not a lot of room. Blue Raiders with the hands out, surrounding the perimeter very well. Passing back to Callahan, now in the paint, underneath to Lewis, spins, puts it up. That's a tough basket. Hard fought 2 points right there for the Lady Hilltoppers. They've cut it back to 12, 37 to 15. At one point, it was an 18-point lead. It was 36 to 18. Somerset had doubled up on Durfee's point total. Since that, Durfee's outscored them 7-1. So, not great, 12 points to deficit for the Hilltoppers.
But it's not terrible.
But Somerset hasn't seen the whole lead disappear. 66 seconds to play in the third, so the timeout on the court. But, you know, to battle back here, make it a 12-point game, you know, Durfee getting a little closer. You know, the fourth quarter could be a little interesting here.
And like you said, Durfee still has a full minute and some time on the clock left. So if Durfee can rally something together here to at least finish maybe down by 8 points going into the fourth, or down by, you know, just don't let this go above 12. You know, keep it at 12 or go 10, you know what I mean, or go 8. But they don't necessarily need a lot here. They just need to be consistent with their buckets. They need to be consistent on defense, and they need to finish this quarter good and stay consistent into the next quarter and going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, well, and that's what happened in the second quarter, right before halftime. Somerset, you know, threw up 2 straight baskets with like the last 10 seconds to go, and you know, Durfee, instead of being down by 7, we're down by 11. There's a great pass. Salamone puts it in.
And Durfee's just not getting back on that play.
No.
There was too many white jerseys going down.
And that's happened a number of times.
Multiple times.
.40 seconds on the clock, 15 on the shot clock. Nice move by Callahan, weaving through traffic like a slalom course. The basket good. It's one of the first legitimate drives we've seen to the basket for the Hilltoppers tonight.
And as the shot clock goes off.
Yeah, Lewis kind of stole it away. Callahan, will she take the shot? No, gonna give it to Lewis. Lewis puts it a little too high off the glass. 10 seconds, and now Somerset will look to take the last shot.
And Lewis looking like she was trying to draw the foul there on that one.
Wow, from way out, not even hitting the rim. I'm not quite sure the decision there from Caroline Gajewski. She had nobody in front of her. She's pulling up from NBA range.
Yeah, classic case of maybe not knowing what the time on the actual scoreboard was. You know, with
most
the shot
likely
clock off, there's really not much to. You have to turn around to look at the scoreboard. Actually, there's one.
There is one here.
There's one right there.
I'm not sure the reasoning, but
you know,
timeout for Durfee. 2.1 seconds. It's going to have to be a cross-court pass and a quick release, long outside shot if they want to try to net something here before the buzzer. And the biggest, you know, Durfee's just going to get, you know, more of the team involved here offensively. That's really the biggest thing. You know, for Somerset, they got their big 4 basically in the book. They got Powers scoring. They got Gajewski scoring. They got Abigail, that is. Then Caroline, only 2 points tonight, but she's been getting rebounds. Her height's been a factor. Salamone's got 10 points. So 3 players in double digits for, or right there for Somerset. For Durfee, again, it's Cameron Lewis getting it done. She's the one that's kept them in this game. 2 points for Mackenzie Carrero, 4 points for Salgado, and then 5 points for Callahan. Those 5 coming here in the third after nothing in the first half. So that's it. That's all it's been, you know, for Durfee. And they're about at their average. I mean, they're not lighting it up. Down the court it goes. Oh, the pass is made. Basket no good.
And you just shot a little bit too early. You still had a couple dribbles. Maybe 2 or 3 dribbles
Maybe
left
a
there.
split second.
Yeah.
Not again, not a horrible quarter for either side. 12 points for Somerset, so the lead does grow. And for Durfee, 11 points. So it's 39-27. You know, again, yeah, I really think Durfee is in this game. They just got to make some baskets.
Yeah, and like you were
That's
saying.
really,
yeah.
I mean, really, that's just really what it comes down to.
yeah.
They got to make the shots. There's been so many missed shots. And I'm not just getting on Durfee. Somerset's had a lot of missed shots tonight, too. But, you know, Somerset's been able to build the lead and sustain it.
Yeah, the fact that Durfee's trailing with, you know, with all the missed shots is the reason why.
They built that 9-point lead, and for the most part, they've kept it at about that distance, about a 3-possession to 4-possession game consistently. So that's a pretty comfortable way to play if you're Somerset. And for Durfee, again, you know, you got to make the shots. I'm glad to see that Lewis has been pretty consistent here through all these quarters. I'm glad Callahan had that big 3, and you know, in that other basket here. So she's got 5 points. Again, those 5 coming in the third. But I'd love to see a couple of the Lady Hilltoppers, a couple others, you know, get into the game a little bit. Somerset moving the ball so well tonight with the passing. And again, I think the height has helped them when they're down there. But this time a steal. Shaylin can't put it up.
And like that.
Ooh, that's a tough jump ball, too. I mean, you know, they did not have their hands clasped around that ball.
Yeah.
That's what a jump ball is supposed to be. This ball was loose and being juggled. Neither side had a full control over it. It goes Durfee's way this time, but that's, in my opinion, that's not a jump ball. That ball was still playable and loose. I don't like that whistle.
Yeah, I happen to agree with you. A lot of refs will just, as soon as, you know, somebody's on the ground and the ball's up in the air, as soon as someone touches it, they'll call a jump ball. If 2 people have their hands on it at one time, a lot of refs will just blow the whistle for that. You know, and that's not necessarily a true jump ball.
No, it's
but
not.
For a lot of refs, they do call it like that, unfortunately.
Salgado can't put it up, so unfortunately for Shaylin, 2 fairly open shots, not able to put them in. And again, you know, each possession here is going to be that much more crucial for the Hilltoppers. Still down by 12, a minute already gone here, and now free throws coming for the Blue Raiders.
Exactly, and Durfee's been getting the looks. They've been getting better looks than they have in the past quarters. It's
Right.
just now, it's just a matter of, like you said, getting it into the basket.
Lewis picks up her 2nd foul, the 4th team foul for the Hilltoppers. First shot for Buron, no good. She has no points tonight. She's been out there really the whole game. Very few substitutions for Coach LePage tonight for the Blue Raiders. Pretty much been the 5 starters almost the whole game.
And there is her first points
First
of
points.
the night.
Yep, that's her first basket, first point, the free throw. So 1 point for Buron, and it puts the Blue Raiders up to 40, a 13-point lead. Lewis.
A great offensive snag, and to put it back up there. And now Durfee faces an 11-point deficit with around six and a half left. So
Lewis kind of looked back after that steal
Yeah.
and put. I mean, she was in a lot of traffic. I think she was looking for a foul, and she didn't get it. But I think she was looking for some contact. As Durfee now picks up their 5th foul, and it's the 3rd for Cruz Salgado.
Oh man, that was tough. Everybody was defended, but one person, you know, slipped away from their coverage, and now you have a wide open layup. And Lewis is calling for the ball, you know, multiple times in this possession. I don't think they can get it to her with where she is on the court here. But
Free ball, no good. And the rebound to Salamone. All right, well, Lewis is their tallest player. So, that one goes around the rim. Salamone puts it down. with a 15-point game. Handing it off to Powers. On the back. Ooh, close to a trip. That foot almost came up.
I thought it did. But
it ended up being a bad pass for her. They tried, then Callahan tried to find Cruz down low, and it was overthrown. Cruz goes sliding down, flatlining almost.
And Durfee has to act soon if they really want to have, you know, a chance in this game. And of course they have a chance up until the final buzzer, but with the game being how it is and how Durfee's, you know, scored in patterns here.
Yeah, the deficit's just growing bigger
exactly,
and bigger.
And you know, anything can happen, but the way Durfee's been playing, it's likely that, you know, that we can kind of predict, you know, how Durfee will go on the scoring run. So if they want to have a chance to get back into this game, they have to go on a scoring run really soon.
3-ball put up from way outside off the rim, no good. Lewis got a hand on it, but it's going to go into the hands of Caroline Gajewski. Out of play it goes. Still be Somerset ball, 46-29, 4:40 to play in the game. And I'll tell you, if Somerset holds on, it's looking more and more likely that they will. It's been a long time since the Somerset team has swept Durfee in the basketball season. The last couple times we've come, we've done more girls games here than boys. It just happens to work out that way. Last couple times we've done this, the girls for Durfee have dominated Somerset. So this is a change of pace for the Blue Raiders, having kind of having their way with Durfee this year. This game being, oh, how about that? Couple bounces and it's good. And a timeout.
14-point Raider lead. And 4:05 left in the game. It's possible. It's very much possible, and it's very much in reach on a basketball standpoint.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that they ended the quarter down by 12.
Yeah.
And now they're down by 14. So you're almost starting, you're almost starting like it's the start of the fourth quarter here, but you're adding, you know, you're adding 2 more points you have to deal with here. So it's definitely not going to be easy, you know, and whatever they wanted to do going into the fourth quarter, now they have to do basically that, but do it at a higher level, and, you know, you can't have many mistakes. It's going, you know, it's this low in the game, like this,
no, you got to make every shot.
Exactly. So
you got to make every shot, and you need Somerset to miss. So half a quarter to go.
And Durfee's had good looks. It's just a matter of making the shots.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we ran down Somerset's remaining schedule earlier. For Durfee, they're here tonight. 2 more games on this road trip all this week. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the road trip schedule, a 3-game road trip. They're going to be heading to Brockton, Bishop Stang on Wednesday, then Brockton Friday. Come home against Dartmouth next week. On Tuesday, a collision here. Callahan went down, Cruz went down, but they're both up okay. Dartmouth, the home game, then away at BR. Then 3 home games to end the season: Stang, New Bedford, and Taunton. The Lady Hilltoppers. And just for, you know, for the girls' sake, just for pride, you know, we never like to see a winless team. We've seen it before, not in basketball, you know, of late, but we have seen winless teams. We hope that they can pick up a win here down the stretch.
And they have a couple more games left. How many games do they have left?
They have 8.
They have 8 games left in the season?
Excuse me, 7 after tonight. 7 after tonight. Oh, Lewis grabs her ankle. She grabs her ankle almost immediately, and she's hobbling. And she's hurt, and I think we're going to have an injury timeout here. Yeah, that was a tough collision. Definitely landed awkwardly, and she immediately reached for her right ankle. All right, we're going to step aside here on Fred TV, Blue Raiders TV. So we'll be right back after this quick timeout. We're back here at Somerset Berkley as Cameron Lewis helped off the court. Can't really put almost any pressure on that right ankle, and that's not a good sign, you know, for the Hilltoppers who are already so short-staffed, really just hobbling over to the bench and going to be checked out by the trainer. So she is, by all accounts, I would say done for the night. You hope she's not done for the season, but definitely hurting right now. That was a tough collision.
It was like a you know, a very an ankle sprain of some sort, but the severity is, you know, unknown obviously at this point. But with Durfee's main scorer being now out of the game, it's starting to look, you know, it's starting, the hill's starting to get steeper here for Durfee to climb back into this game. So
yeah, and you know, the other thing is now, you know, you think from a coaching perspective too. I mean, you know, if it's only minor, it doesn't swell up or anything, she's okay, then, you know, maybe she can play again. But to not be able to put really any pressure on it, that's not a good sign. And then, you know, the first thought in my mind is, you know, Durfee's not in a playoff push. They haven't won a game. And, you know, do you want to take a chance
and, you know,
as a coach and have her try to play again this season, or do you wait? I mean, she's only a sophomore.
That's what I was just about to say.
Right. So maybe, you know, now that's a tough one. Is like you say, oh, gosh, now I got to sit another player the rest of the year. But, you know, maybe it ends up being one of those situations. I hope for her sake, no, because she's had a good season. But, you know, you also don't want to jeopardize the ankle, you know, when you got junior and senior year coming, because I think she's going to be a factor, you know, in the 2 years coming.
Yeah, and you said it best there. It's just a matter of, like, you know, how the coach sees it. You know, how many wins did you say you had to, you know, to get playoffs?
Well, you got to win half your games.
Oh, I thought you said 3 at the beginning. I think I was a little confused. You got to win half your games. So it's.
No, I said Somerset needs 3 more.
Oh, okay, that's why I was a little confused there.
But yeah, but no, I mean,
so,
you know,
yeah,
20
so
games, 20-game season. You got to win half. You got to win 10. Durfee's 0-12. They're not going to the tournament.
Okay. Yeah.
They're really pretty much out of it.
You know, and that. So at this point, it's just a matter of, you know, do you want to focus on the future? You know, do you want to, you know, it's almost you can compare it to, like, you know, any team like the Knicks, or like a team where like, you know, they have these guys, they have this good young core, and it's if some guy gets injured, some guy goes down, do you want to force them back into it for nothing, or do you want to, you know, rehabilitate them to the point where they're able to play even better the next season? And that's you know, there's obviously going to be a lot of coaching decisions that are going to go down in the next couple of weeks regarding this team, regarding all the injuries that they have. So it's honestly just best to focus on the future at this point, with being their record 0-12, and as much as you don't want to say something like, oh, focus on the future, it's the only thing that you can look forward to at this point in the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll look at pulling up the you know, the standings right now, conference-wise.
Yeah. And with Durfee's main rebounder being out of the game now, it's very tough for Durfee to grab any rebounds on the defensive end. And then, you know, the offensive end is just getting harder and harder as well.
Yeah, 54-32 with a minute to play here. Somerset's going to end up picking up that 8th win. They'll be just 2 away from a playoff berth.
And you could just see the frustration on Callahan's face after that. Another easy bucket goes down for Somerset.
Yeah, nothing's been easy for Durfee tonight, that's for sure.
No, not at all.
Brockton, their league record, they're 1-3 in the conference. Durfee's 0-4 in the new Southeast Conference. The Lady Whalers, we pull up their schedule here, just to give you an idea. I did say Durfee's out of it. With overall record, they're out of it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
New Bedford in the league, 2-1 according to the MIAA.
And with the scoreboard, Durfee might just run it down here, or they might go for a last chance bucket. Obviously just for personal reasons. Get yourself up on the scoreboard if you haven't yet.
Right.
And the scoreboard's gonna expire.
56-35, the final score. BR is perfect in league play, so right there, that's what I'm saying. Durfee's pretty much done.
Yeah.
But yeah, tough one tonight for Durfee. And again, you know, you hate to see Lewis still sitting with the trainer. You know, injuries are part of the game. We say it all the time. You never like to see it. But, you know, Lewis
But they
is...
happen, yeah.
Yeah, they happen. It's just kind of...
nature of the sport.
You know, you've played sports. You know. It's just the way it is. So Lewis is, you know, it was really nice. The Blue Raiders are heading over to see her and the handshaking with her because she couldn't join the line. So that's really a classy way to end the game. So Somerset Berkley pulls off the sweep of the Durfee High School Hilltoppers. 56-35 the final tonight. 54-44 was the score in the first game back in December. So 2-game sweep for the Blue Raiders in 2019-2020 over Durfee. You know, again, it's a young team for Durfee.
It is,
you know, there's a lot of young players. The experience level isn't quite there for some of the upperclassmen, so it's a young team. You know, for Somerset, there were quite a few returners. I remembered a number of the names. A lot of playmakers that were in the book tonight were back from last year that I recalled. So, you know, we wish Somerset the best of luck because I think they're going to make the tournament. For Durfee, you know, they try to finish the season, try to grab a win or two, and try to finish the season at least, you know, feeling somewhat good going into next year.
And the good news with a team like this is that you can only get better from this point. You have a good young core. You can only get better. And that's what Durfee's going to look forward to in the future.
All right, folks. Well, that's going to wrap it up from Somerset Berkley for the Blue Raiders Studios crew here at Somerset Berkley, led by Tara Peckham, and our Fred TV crew here, you know, behind me, backing us up here. So great to collaborate, as always, and we look forward to collaborating with Blue Raiders Studios once again in the future. We hope you enjoyed all the action. For Daniel Keating, I'm Evan Massard saying so long from Somerset Berkley.